Mark and Noble, why is it that black men seem to lower their standards for other races of women? Very great question. Let me try to answer it using an analogy. So, some men are conditioned to believe that non-black is more valuable than black.
Yes.
Okay, so let's say a man will go to a Porsche dealership and he just wants a Porsche. He don't care if it's automatic. He don't care if it's got a sat nav. He don't care if it's got Apple CarPlay, or I'm just making things up. He just wants the badge. Whereas the money he's going to spend on just to have that Porsche badge, he could go and get a top of the line Ford, for conversation's sake, that has everything on it. But because he feels like me being with this Porsche is so valuable, he'll go over and just grab that just to say he's got a Porsche. That's the same with a lot of these men and with non-black girl. They look at them as more valuable. You get me? Like, yo, that white thing looks way better. You get what I'm saying? Or you know what I mean? They just see that as more valuable. You get me? So they're just running that down. I've seen it, man. I've seen it with my own eyes, man.
So that's number one. And then number two, on the emotional side, on the actual relationship side, male and female indigenous and female original have two different spirits and operate very differently.
Facts.
So the original woman and the original man, they have a compatibility, and where an original woman will potentially check and do certain things, the indigenous woman is more in line to be, I guess, subservience and just play her role and utilize a lot of mind manipulation to get what she wants. Whereas a cisgender is going to be a lot more upfront and like, yo, I'm only accepting these things. Whereas an indigenous will be, I'm accepting 80% of what the cisgenders won't accept, and maybe a little bit more, depends. You know what I mean? So it's that level as well. Women, indigenous women have very different understandings of what relationships are and barriers, whereas we have been raised very differently. So that's another big part of it as well.
And you can get away with a lot of these, man. You can, like, I can only go by mans who remember, I have these conversations all the time with men who check gal outside the race. And like a lot of like indigenous gal will keep up a mazza for you.
Come on.
And like, it's, you know what I mean? They like Noble just said, fully submit. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like a lot of man, they want that in it. You get me? They want that. Some of our people believe anything indigenous is right. Aisha, another question. What is the end result of these overwhelming preferences when their offspring are completely white? What do you think black men will think then? We know the answer to that, Aisha, because what's that baller's name, man? The baller now, and he's from St. Kitts.
Oh my god!
You know what I'm talking?
No,
he's from St. Kitts still, but his granddad, Cole Palmer. Google that now. Cole Palmer. Just type in Cole Palmer, granddad. Yeah. So if you look at Cole Palmer, he's white. You get me? Like facts. You can't. It just is what it is. He's white. His granddad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We spoke about him before, haven't we?
Yeah, we spoke about him before. But what I'm saying is, that's one generation removed, isn't it? So
wait a minute. Whoa.
Yeah.
One.
That's one, Noble. That's his grandson. So is that a son? So his dad's linked. So Cole Palmer's granddad dated an indigenous woman.
Yeah.
Had a child who dated an indigenous woman, and then the grandson is now a top baller, and his girls. So his woman. Okay. The only thing missing is 7 dwarfs.
Okay.
So that geezer's complete lineage, unless he's got other sons who didn't, has gone. No, that's the answer to your question right there. The man don't care.
They don't care.
They don't care.
And how many times this is a perfect illustration. I've laid this out from 2009. I've laid this all out. Yeah, you have your fun, but in 2 generations, you don't look like your offspring look nothing like you. And again, I'll repeat, when little Cole Palmer's gal comes to the family house and sees granddad on the wall, she's going to be saying, Cole, who on earth is that? Yeah, that's granddad from St. Kitts. Didn't you know? Okay, well, you got all this money. I guess I'll just swallow that. It's it's look, people. This is freedom. This is choice. But also, we have to also, as it's such a powerful vehicle, marketing and advertisements and television. We don't see beautiful women on television as much. We do a little bit more now, post killing and public lynching, technological lynching of George Floyd. They've obviously pushed a lot more, original people on the advertisements and all that. But historically, generally, we don't see anyone, that we can desire like that. They're not pushed. It's light-skinned women. It's these Latinos, these ambiguous, and even the indigenous. Look at what they're doing now. They go into the flipping corner store. They're getting loads of turmeric and curry powder, mixing it up in the water, and they're pulling it all over their damn skin and shit, man. They got the Saint-Tropez stuff, spraying it on themselves, making them look ambiguously different, like there could be a quote-unquote mixed race or light-skinned person. Then they're making their lips look fuller by drawing on that stuff or going to the place and getting the injections into their damn something. Yeah? They're styling themselves like a cisgen and stuff. Like, and then these black men are going underneath the damn bridges and dragging these trolls out.
Yeah, that's been something that has been it's something that why? I honestly don't even know, because when you're getting man asking me that question, and I'm saying, like, I get what you man are saying still, like love has no color. I understand what you're trying to say, but I'm saying other communities don't feel that way. Like, even when we done that clip on the main channel about the Muslim thing.
Yes.
And a couple black Muslims, me and them, was debating, and I'm like, yo, I'm not debating you, man. Go and try and marry one of them man's daughter and then come back to me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying it don't happen here and there, but for the most part, the man ain't gonna allow that. Matter of fact, the daughter wouldn't even want you. Facts. But with our world, it's complete. I'm not saying that the odd thing don't happen, but in our world, it's something that is normalized. And if you speak against that, you're not saying you're against it, but if you say, do what you're doing, but this is what I want, you get me? You almost you'll almost be shamed or attacked. And I don't get it, because all I've seen growing up is other communities that practice that. All of them. There's the Pakistani community in Brom are like, they're like, some of them are like third generation in, who are still only checking each other. I'm talking like grandparents have come, had children. Some mans have even gone 4, I'd say.
I'd say more than that.
And them man are still fully, nah, man, I need to get, like, one of my bedrooms. I'd bring him on if he'd come on, but they're not going to say it publicly, but he'd say, raw, like, nah, I'm not, like, that's the only place he could find love. I'm not saying he ain't going to ramp around A, B, or C, but wife, children, 0 chance. It's just not happening. Matter of fact, he wouldn't. What's understood don't even need to be explained in that world. But in our world, it's something that if I say that's what I'm into, then it's a major thing. Because, you can't say that. Yeah. Look at that interracial show we did. When I cleared it up, that got good views though. If you read the comments, people go back to the comments on that. The majority agree. They're like, you're right. When I told them my actual story, and I could go in much deeper, but when I told them my actual story of what I went through being you can see why I'm saying, maybe if I didn't go through that, I doubt it, but it might have probably been different. I don't know. I'm glad I went through it though. I'm glad I went through it. You get me?
Yeah. I'm glad you are today, man.
Yeah, man. I'm glad I went through that, because I want to know that I'm different. I want to know that I'm different. I don't want to feel a part of the thing and then I'm not. You get me?
But it's because it's not even, look, they're, as you said, they're making it now where sense is nonsense, and we're so far removed from natural law and nature, because if we just look at natural law, which is engraved into our hearts, but the older we get and being manipulated by, the media, etc., that thing changes and it's, oh, that's the norm now. The norm is I identify as a penguin today.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the new normal. The new normal is you stay in your house because of the zombie apocalypse, and then you come out at 7 o'clock like a damn robot and clap like a seal. That's the
Facts.
new norm. You know, you follow that thing. They've taken us away from, as I say, natural law and nature. Let's look at nature. You don't see the magpie bossing moves with the damn crow, do you? You don't see the pigeon dealing with the sparrow, the starling dealing with the finch. You don't see these things in nature. The only way you see these things in nature is if the space monkey, Mr. Demon Man himself, the child of Satan, goes into the laboratory and starts messing around.
Facts, yeah, facts. And it's like, and remember, I've said it before, I've said it many a times. Take away planes, take away trains, take away boats. What you gonna do? No. Let's keep it. Take away all man-made objects, yeah. And a man got vexed last time I said this. But take away all man-made objects to where you wouldn't even be in Europe, rude boy.
Huh?
Take away them thing there, yeah.
Huh?
What are you going to do? Because remember, it was a boat trip. Your people, them, well, not all, man. Some man's on the plane, but
Yes.
your people, them came here.
Yes.
And you were able to mix with the indigenous, but let's say they didn't come. What you going to do? You know what I mean? So this is what I'm trying to say. I'm saying what? Because remember, what did we start off this stream by saying? See, when you get out of bed and you open up the blinds and you see that sun, when you see that, rest in peace, Roy Ayers. Roy Ayers, noble.
Yeah.
Everyone loves the sunshine.
Yes.
When you see that sunshine peeking through your blinds, yeah,
Come
and
on.
your mood just says, you just bounce up out of bed. People, that's something that is very important to know, you know, because that's what you would have been seeing every day at one point.
Yes.
You would have been seeing that every single
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
You'd have been getting up and seeing that. Forget about all the man-made trinkets of this land.
Yeah.
You'd have been getting up and seeing that sunshine
Yeah.
and saying, damn, look at that's beautiful.
Yes.
And you'd have been getting that glaze like a donut.
Come on.
You'd have been getting that glow.
Come on.
So think, people, do you think that happens by accident, or do we have a relationship with a hotter climate?
Come on.
Man like me who's dark like this, this skin weren't made in the cold.
Nope. It sure
This was
not.
forged under the sun.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it's so dark. You get me? You don't get skin like that from being in the cold. So when you touch it, as man touch certain weather, man's skin just glows, breathe better, train
Yes.
better. You know what I mean?
Yes.
There's a reason for that. So I'm saying, man, they can't answer the question. Take away boats, trains, and planes. What are you going to do?
What's the deal?
That's why I don't, all that out of men, one many, I don't listen to none of that rubbish. It's not no out of one many. You see what I'm saying? Out of one people.
Let me examine that from a
Yeah, man.
historical lens, not necessarily from a modern lens, and the mainstream, and just make and then pose a question. So the narrative is that our diaspora is where from all over the continent of Africa, but then we were basically herded to West Africa, and then we were put on ships to go to the Americas. We were then taken mainly to the Caribbean if we were very violent, not to the mainland, because the Caribbean was breaker islands. Now, the reason that was done is because the indigenous...
Sorry.
Go.
I'm chatting to Ari now, Sturdy. I just seen him pop up. Ari, big up, man. You forgot about the Saturday stream.
How?
No, but carry on. Apologies.
No problem. So we were brought there because the indigenous Carib Indians and the Arawak Indians, Carib being the warring tribe, this is all according to history, I'm talking, I'm using air quotes now, with the warring tribe, the ones who were able to be captured were worked to death, the same way that Arawaks were as well. They may have had some Tainos as well, which they named, but we were basically brought over there for that purpose, right? There was some remaining Arawaks, they say only, because the Carries apparently died, but I don't think that's true. And then as that happened, we had the Spaniards, we had the English, settle in, we were prisoners of war, etc., our foreparents. So just based upon that historical, and then where we are now, that's why the motto is, and that will be the motto for every single island, depending on whether it was Spanish, Dutch, French, or
I think
English.
it was implemented to keep mans down, you know.
Come on, you know
Because
exactly.
yeah, it was implemented. I've never subscribed to that out of man Rennie, and I don't think I ever will. It's Jamaica. You know, I've been many times, and I struggle to see any other person, whether I'm in Spanish Town, Clarendon. I don't go to tourist places over there. You know what I mean? I've stopped in a couple hotels here and there, but
Yeah.
I don't do the tourism thing. So when I'm talking about real life